Guardians.
Yep.
How is everyone?
Welcome, Guardians.
How's everybody's week? What's going on?
It was a week, man.
Dude.
Pretty good.
I want to go to sleep.
That's a good
Huffy's
start.
still drunk. So.
Yeah.
Did you beat Sekiro, Huffy?
No, my hands hurt.
Your hands hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta work through the pain, man.
Bro.
It's
Yeah, I've just played a lot of music, so like the hands are like not able to keep up with.
too many Polish weddings, not enough Sekiro.
Bro.
Makes Jack a dull boy.
Actually, I've got a show in Philly tomorrow,
Ooh.
so that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
But as soon as there's some more downtime, I'm gonna get back on Sekiro and finish that shit. Best single player game I've ever played. How are you liking your playthrough of it?
I haven't been able to pick it up again yet, but I want to play it more.
Yeah.
I was a little bit bummed when I was watching you play that I saw that whole like resurrection after cutting the thing's head off, dude. I was like, God damn it!
Yo, what an incredible battle, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's, there are a lot of things like that in the game. So, don't worry, you have plenty more to go. But that ape fight, when he just picks his head back up, that shit
I watched
is
Extra
insane.
Life do that boss without getting hit.
Huh?
Without getting hit.
Yeah.
That boss? Fuck.
Yeah.
I
The ape
I was
boss
on
is the
Twitter
one that
last
like
night.
throws his head at you or that rips off his head or whatever.
No, you cut off his head, and it's like, oh, you killed him. And then he picks
Yeah.
his head off the floor and like pulls a sword out of who knows where.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah.
this
the
monkey.
the sword was sticking through his neck.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
He did
decapitated him with.
he did a no hit run, and I clicked on him while he was doing that boss on the no hit run.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's like, I don't know. Like, I get how
But you-
people do like the humanoid bosses, like the parry timings and stuff. But that fucking monkey.
You have to play it so much closer than like Dark Souls. It looks like. I mean, it's an in your face game.
Yeah, because like your huge strength is like your deflects and your parries and blocking using your poise. So you're actually safest right beside your enemies, which is very different from Dark Souls because you were safe like far away and you could watch them and like learn their movements. But with Sekiro,
a
you
lot
have
of
to
dodging
learn.
and drinking potions.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, in this game,
Do
you
you guys-
have to create windows to drink potions. You can't just run away,
Do you know Famous Birds from Crucible Radio? Have you ever listened to Crucible Radio before?
That's
No.
probably something I should have listened to, but
Mhm.
I have listened to one episode of it, and I was like, wow, these are not good tips, and then I turned it off.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wasn't trying to throw shade
No,
like that.
no, I'm sorry. Huffy's views are not directly related to GuardianCast.
But he posted last night a picture of the credits and was like, I don't know why everyone's saying this game's so hard. It was pretty easy. I beat it in like 5 hours, and I was like, that's some fucking lies. I
Yeah.
don't believe that for a second.
Like, actually, fuck off.
So Destiny, guys.
Destiny.
Yeah.
We
We're getting
love
the patch.
Crucible
It's a
Radio,
game.
by the way.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sponsored by Crucible
Sponsored by
Radio.
Crucible Radio. You can check out
GuardianCast,
there.
another
You should
member
listen to
of
them
the-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have me on, by the way. I can give you some PvP tips that don't suck.
Oh my god, he's in a
Ooh, he's
toxic
still
mood
going,
today.
dude.
Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
What?
Huh?
No, I was just
Okay.
blowing.
Mm.
Cool.
All right, so let's talk about this Arc Week patch that's coming.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, you're mad about it?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, why?
Elaborate.
So I think Cammy probably elaborated best in his Twitter
Huffy
post, where he
just,
kind of
froze
acknowledged
up.
that
Did we lose both Recked and Huffy?
we
No.
didn't
Seems that
lose
way.
anyone. We
Mhm.
lost
Uh-oh.
Recked. Oh,
Audio
Recked is just
listeners, we're
frozen.
having some technical
So what do you think
difficulties.
about the?
You know
I'm gonna
what?
switch the server real
Weak,
quick.
man.
Oh man, this audio is gonna be real fun for Wits.
Yeah,
Guaranteed
actually.
they're still talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I switched,
Okay.
I
So
switched the
that-
server.
So pose the question
Hey.
again, Recked, from start from
I
the top.
switched the server. Sorry. Wits, you can just edit all of that out. Anyway.
Yes.
Never even happened.
Wiz is
Yeah.
gonna be like, nah.
Yeah,
Take
we're
two.
leaving it in.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep. So we're on the central server now, and
Nice.
so Huffy, talk to us about Arc Week.
Yeah, I think Cammy said it best. He kind of acknowledged something I didn't realize at first, which was the power creep of abilities, which is kind of like the same situation that we've ended up in as D1. Like at the end of the day, like yes, this is bringing other supers closer to Spectral, but is that a good thing? Do we want supers to be as powerful as Spectral Blades, to where the Crucible becomes
good
like less
question.
of a gun focused thing and more of a rock paper scissors super popping thing?
Well, I'll say this, that I saw his tweet. I get what he's saying, but I want to say that I'm happy. This patch is actually not just about supers. We're talking about neutral abilities as well, which is something that they've seemed to be completely ignoring for the past couple patches. It's been all about supers, when it comes to abilities. As a matter of fact, the thing I'm most excited about is the bottom tree Arcstrider, which is not getting any changes to his super at all.
Yeah,
it's all neutral stuff. So
I think that those buffs to those abilities are super good. I think that Arcstrider is underused, and so it's nice to see that buff. But honestly, I think that more people would be playing Arcstrider anyway if it wasn't for the super.
yeah, if the super wasn't bad, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that people are choosing. I think that a lot of hunters are getting funneled into their subclass right now because of the strength of actual supers.
Spectral.
And that neutral game would make more of a difference for people if it wasn't.
I feel it's interesting to note.
I think
that,
across the board, we have talked about like before that it's not necessarily the strength of the supers, but the armor of them, and like this whole like they can live through like everything in the kitchen sink hitting them is kind of annoying. So if they just brought that down, I think we'd be fine.
Yeah, and brought up mobility. I think. I mean, I know for me, and
Except
definitely for
Dawnblade.
you.
Do not bring up mobility for Dawnblade.
Yeah.
That's not what he's saying, guys.
Or Spectral Blades, because Spectral Blades mobility is nuts. You can get around a map 2 or 3 times, but Arcstrider you can only swing once in the air. And you can't like spam anything on the ground. There's no way to spend super energy to gain speed. You're just kind of stuck being
dodging.
Basically slower than a normal Guardian,
Yeah, and to boot, if you're like come into a battle with another super, they're like, you know how hard it is to get close to them? Well, you have to hit them twice if you do.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck you.
Like a Dawnblade? Why should you have to hit a Dawnblade twice?
Yeah,
if you can touch a Dawnblade, they're doing it wrong.
I know. It definitely makes no sense. But like I've been saying, if I could play Arcstrider with that old like Destiny 1 artifact that like took away your super to give you like 2 grenades, 2 melees, and 2 dodges, I would totally do that.
Yeah.
The Memory of Felwinter?
I think so.
I believe.
Okay,
Is it Felwinter or Radagast? I can't remember.
Yeah. I think it might have been Radagast, but that sounds right. But yeah, so anyway, that's all. Like, I think supers in general are too strong. Spectral, I've been saying that I think people are deceived because the most common complaint I hear is that Spectral lasts too long, and I think it lasts long when you have Gwissinvest on, which the majority of people do. The only other way you can get it to last long is if you literally just sit in invisibility. Otherwise, it lasts like 14 seconds like any other super. So.
Well, the majority of people switch. I mean, which is another very
annoying
blatant problem with Crucible, especially in the competitive playlist, is that people switch their exotics for their super.
Yeah.
It started
kind of like in
Sentinel.
D1. It was like in D1 where you could switch your I think it was some sort of artifact or something with the what is it? The Resurrection fucking Warlock self-res. You could switch it. There was like some sort of cheese where you could switch it and you'd get like infinite self-res
it
or
was
something.
it was the chess piece that like blinded people and stuff when they self-resed, and then they would just switch to the RAM after they got up.
Yep.
And then like the RAM gives you like extra armor on top. So
the RAM was the worst exotic that I've ever played against. Just putting on an exotic, like changing the time to kill of my hand cannon, that's not cool. Like, fuck you. Fuck your tickle fingers melee. Fuck everything about RAM Stormlocks.
A lot.
RAM Stormlocks with the clever dragon can suck a bottle of water because you need to get hydrated.
The Stormlock in Destiny 1, when it came out, I remember just being like, I'm holding down a button and just getting like Slayers and Reapers and Seventh Columns over and over again. Like that's like you just like hold forward and zzz, and there goes the whole team.
Yeah, it's bad.
But that's coming back.
Nice.
I mean, I'm into it honestly.
Because the chain lightning melee.
I'm getting a little tired of Dawnblade and. Yeah, like I'm getting tired of Dawnblade. I'm getting tired of getting Chaos Reach all the time. Give me some tickle fingers to fight against. Give me something a little different. I'm not that mad about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I just want supers to be less of a factor, and for guns to be like what people are excited about.
I would have to agree.
Didn't they change because that's what people wanted in Destiny from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, right? That's why they went with the primary meta.
I mean, as far as guns, yeah.
Sure. That's why they went with the primary meta, which didn't work out. Yeah. Which is why we're back to this gun system. And it was good in Forsaken because we had a shit ton of new guns that we were trying out in Crucible. And we found a lot of stuff that worked. And now everything is settled. And we just need more guns to spice up the mix. And we need to make sure that the guns that we're introducing...
1 billion guns, please, Bungie.
Yeah, 1 billion guns,
let's
please.
Just get it done, please.
We need to make sure that the guns we are introducing aren't so powerful that they are impossible to be outslotted.
The problem we're running into is they're either so powerful or so forgettable and unusable. Like, they're forcing the metas upon us by the way they're creating these things.
Yeah. Well, they can avoid that by having... fixed loadouts for Crucible or banned weapons in Crucible. And for like the competitive playlist, Recked and I've been talking about this, like Halo style, like start, loadouts.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Everybody has the same stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I mean, and not everybody needs to have the same stuff, but they need to have the same choices of what stuff they can put on. It could be like, hey, you want to be like a mobility hunter? Here's a mobility set. You want to be a sniper? Here's like the sniper that you're able to use. Or you could say you want to be low impact versus high impact, but it's still like set, so where you can make those choices, but everybody's on like the same playing field. So I kind of hope that's what we see in D3, but I don't know if they'll ever get away from their mentality.
As far as the competitive playlist, that'd be great. But for the casual quick play and stuff, I'll allow everything, but for competitive, that sounds fantastic.
I mean, I actually disagree. I want to see it in quick play. I think where it would be nice to see the PvE stuff come in is in Iron Banner. And then you can just let that be total chaos, you know?
I mean, there's a ton of PvEVP that's obviously going to be part of Destiny 3 with as much as they're focusing on it in D2. We have Gambit private net matches now. We have a first Gambit Prime tournament.
That's a thing.
Yeah, which just got announced. Like, they're into PvEVP, so you can use those weapons there, but...
Just imagine, like, if in Destiny 3 they, like, have more Borderlands-style weapons that are just crazy and, like...
that'd be great.
You really don't even want those in quick play. It would make quick play unenjoyable to play on a regular basis. So to give them the freedom to do that kind of stuff, I say it's just like a once a month event. Iron Banner, go crazy, use your PvE stuff in PvP. Yeah. I mean, I just think that would be the best way to handle it.
Because then they can go nuts, and that's what we want is for them to go nuts. I think every nutty weapon that they've ever released, people have gone crazy for it. People love the boot cannon. People love the
colony,
what's the grenade? The colony, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's nutty.
The stupid Jotun. Let me just tell you something.
Oh, fuck
that thing, dude.
Dude, this is the dumbest thing.
I
was playing Iron Banner just trying to let me try out this stuff, and I didn't use like either of the buffs or anything, but I went in at my highest light level. I was like 693, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm getting one shot by all these dudes like standing behind a door just waiting to charge up the Jotun, and then I look at their light level and I'm like 550. Like, they have the frickin' the negative light thing on, and they're still able to one shot with the Jotun.
Yeah.
What is that garbage?
Stupid,
it's
dude.
unbalanceable.
Stupid.
Yeah,
you can't balance that in Crucible. It
I
either has
think they
to
should
suck.
balance to that and rather than nerf it.
No,
I think that's a time to kill that.
Just fucking.
Are
get
you
rid of it,
fucking
dude.
right now?
Dumb.
I love it. I love the weapon.
You can fuck off.
I love that weapon. I do.
I mean, oh my god!
Fucking rage quit from Huffy.
Did you change your mind?
Oh my god!
Oh, for our audio listeners, Huffy's rage quitting every time he doesn't change his mind.
Dude,
so.
XO or Captain or whatever your name is now, which we haven't announced.
Hey,
That's what rockets was for in Halo 3. If you want to shoot rockets at each other, then play a rockets game
it's
type.
probably not good as a special weapon, but maybe as a power weapon it would be okay.
Move it to heavy, if anything, yeah. Or just delete the damn thing.
If they would move it to heavy, though, they'd have to make the tracking more, I guess, better.
It's pretty
more
good,
more
man.
Aggressive? Oh yeah, sure.
You can still straighten
the only way
to get out of it.
The only way to make it better would to let it go through walls, dude. Like,
yeah,
that
oh my gosh.
Okay with that.
But here's another thing.
You
I don't
would be
want
okay with
PvP ruining the PvE experience. You got to leave it in that slot. You just have to separate if there were loadouts that we could pick for competitive Crucible or all Crucible, then you can have all the fun you want, grind for your crazy weapons, use whatever you want, have a great time. But I don't want to touch that shit.
I think I've told you guys what I think about Crucible. I think Crucible should have either a locked loadout or a weapon system where you can earn through leveling up in the Crucible, and the max level has the stuff kind of like Call of Duty.
Dude, yeah. If you just you went into Crucible and they had their locked loadouts, and like the higher level you got in Crucible, the higher your rank was, you were able to unlock. Since everyone's using a lot of the same stuff, you were able to unlock skins for those guns, and you get to max comp rank. And I don't know, maybe they put a samurai sword on your back. I don't know if that's been done before, but I bet people would be really into it if you could have a samurai sword on your back.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been done before.
But I'm sure people would freak out about it.
Yeah. It was really hard to get, too.
Yeah.
Because I remember you had to get every achievement in the game. We're talking about Halo 3 for those of us who don't know. But yeah, if you had to get every Xbox achievement in the game to get the samurai sword, and one of them was you had to get a multi-kill with the Spartan laser in PvP, which was like a very narrow window. Like they had to be lined up like perfectly when you had the Spartan laser, which was only on certain maps and stuff like that. So when you got it, you were like, yeah, there's a freaking achievement.
Yeah.
It was pretty ridiculous. I want to talk about these subclass changes. We're not going to go line by line through the patch notes, but I do want to talk about like each individual subclass that is changing in a general sense. So if you're listening to this, you want to just pull the patch notes up to see the specific changes we're talking about. That'd probably be good. So starting with Titans, the code of the Juggernaut on the Striker, which is the bottom path. I think this is going to be really good. I'm so glad that they took Titan skating out of the game before letting this happen, because pairing this with Skullfort is going to be
if Titan skating still would have been in the game, it would have ruined it.
Yeah, exactly. So this, I mean, I think this is still going to be really strong, even without Titan skating. The focus on shoulder charge and everything like that. If you have the Skullford on, you're going to be able to just run around shoulder charging people. You know, watch out for those people.
Yeah.
Meow.
Anyone else have anything to add, or
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
As long as shotguns are good, then that works. Cough, cough.
Yeah, right.
Arcstrider Top Path. This seems like more of a PvE buff to me. I mean, it will be viable in PvP, especially if you stack it with the Worm Husk. I think that you can make a viable build out of this, but it's all about dodging and meleeing and it just keeping those cooldowns up constantly.
Super
and
good
there's
for
some buffs coming to that.
PvE.
There you go. Perfect.
Ooh.
So you'll be able to stack a lot of the damage and stuff like that now where you couldn't before, and the abilities last a little bit longer, and you now get like an initial health buff on top of just your regen starting. So if you stack it with the Worm Husk, I remember I used to use that build pre-Forsaken, and just everything heals you basically. Everything you do, every time you melee somebody, every time you dodge roll, you're getting health. So it's a decent build.
Yeah, I remember people freaking out in the beta about that. Like doing the same strike 9,000 times and just like punching all the Cabal. I specifically remember Dr. Lupo playing Crucible with that build, and he's like, this is going to be the Metal Crucible build for sure.
Actually, it ended up, I mean, he probably, because he wasn't playing Warlock, but at that time, it ended up being the Voidwalker, the Devour tree, because you were just able to eat grenades behind cover, and then when you got pushed because somebody thought you were absolute, it was like, I've got full health, by the way.
And not only do I have full health, but I have full health and it takes 2.2 seconds to kill me if you hit all your shots, you know?
Yeah. Because of the time to kill.
Yeah.
So this is the one I'm most excited about, is the Arcstrider Way of the Wind. It's always been the best neutral game subclass in the game, in my opinion, of all of them. And it's getting better because of like how strong supers are and what we've been talking about. They're buffing every single one of the abilities on that tree, and substantially. Lasting longer. Some of the buffs are like 100% better. So you're going to be able to keep your abilities up, especially if you stack them with like, what are they? Ordnance mods and Paragon mods. Yeah. Then, I would say you could have like a really good ability build where like you just always have abilities. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to go for. Also, the damage resistance while dodging will indirectly help the super too, because you'll take less damage while you're spamming dodge in your super. So that's good to know.
Nice.
All right, Stormcallers. Both trees are getting this damage scaling where after holding the attack for 5 continuous seconds, the damage scales up to 150% greater, which is good because it's risk reward. You'll be burning your super faster by holding it down, and you'll want to do that to have maximum damage. So it's a trade-off there. Specifically, the top path is getting buffs to Arc Web and Chain Lightning Melee. The range and the damage is changing. It's like very specific changes, but I think ultimately this subclass is going to be really strong in the Crucible, especially the super. So watch out for... Because now it's going to be able to like chain back, and if there's 2 people in front of them, it'll chain back and forth between the 2 people like over and over again.
Sounds nutty.
Is that what you guys are reading into this? It's like kind of strange wording. So
yeah, I mean, it kind of looks to me like you're just going to press the button, and if you get close to people, they melt.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say that like the state that it's in, like pre-buff, is pretty abysmal. It's probably one of the worst supers in the game.
Yeah.
Like if I had to. So
it's definitely bad because of its mobility, though.
Yeah.
Not because of its strength. So it's a weird Weird way to balance it.
Is this which one has the ionic blink? Top path or bottom
It
path?
doesn't matter because even the ionic blink takes way too much super energy. If you,
I'm just curious for the post changes. Which one of these it's going to affect?
The bottom?
I'm not sure. I don't play Lock.
I don't think it is the bottom because the bottom is the Arc Buddy.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it's the top. It's the top.
So yeah, this is the one you're going to see. I think most. The Arc Buddy thing is getting buffed
and then just destroy you if they're like, "Hi, you're dead."
Mm-hmm.
The Arc Buddy tree is getting buffed too. I think that's going to be mostly a PvE thing, but we'll see like how annoying it is to manage in PvP. There's something called Electrostatic Surge, which is getting a 600% buff. Apparently, one of these trees was supposed to make the Rift better. I didn't even know that. Like, I never knew that there was a better Rift. It was like so bad that you couldn't tell or something like that. Like,
dude, do we really not have any Warlock mains?
I
think that's a testament.
I mean, I'm playing Warlock right now.
Interesting.
In this expansion, but
I Dawnblade and Crucible.
But I'm Dawnblade exactly.
Okay. Well, there you go. I think a lot of people are going to play Top Tree, though. There'll be a lot of people playing Stormlock soon.
I'll be testing it out for sure.
So then here's the two changes that have nothing to do with Arc Week, which, by the way, there's a whole controversy out there. A lot of people seem to think these changes are only happening for Arc Week. No. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say this for sure, but these are permanent changes.
The whole purpose of these changes to happen, the reason why they're making, like they made the marketing term Arc Week is because they're going to have a Solar Week and a Void Week where they
that's
really
what I was saying.
Where they address the issues of the classes. Yeah.
Yeah. The pre-Forsaken classes that kind of got left behind. I agree. I think they'll have a Void Week and a Solar Week.
These are also coming in April, right? By the end of April.
It was April. It said it at the top.
That's when the quality of life changes are coming too.
2.2.1, April 9th, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah, April 9th. So not the end of April.
I thought it was the end of April, but it's good that it's like next week.
All right. So the non-Arc changes, they acknowledge that they overdid the Nova Warp nerfs. I agree. You can read the specific changes in there. They basically just tuned it back to a middle ground between what they did. There's a lot of changes, though.
Yeah,
here's the one that's weird.
Kind of fuck this shit up.
Here's the one that's weird. I've read this one like probably 10 times because it's very confusing. They say they're making these changes to Dawnblade that they claim is to stop it from lasting too long. But like the burn off of the decay happens over the course of 30 kills. So that is like more of a PvE nerf, but the initial return is increased. So this is actually a PvP buff for Dawnblade. Yeah. They have buffed Dawnblade in every single patch since Forsaken.
So,
and it was already strong before Forsaken.
They're thinking this is the idea behind this is that you can extend it further with skill, is that when people are playing Dawnblade, they get 2 kills or 3 kills maybe out of it. Where in this, like a skilled player will be able to wipe out.
What are you talking about, dude? They wipe the whole team right now, and then they fly to the other side of the map in 2 seconds and wipe the whole team again.
Dude, the most unskilled player can get a 7th column with that. Let's be real. Like,
it's the only subclass that you can really farm 7 columns with. 7th columns are so rare in Destiny 2 because of map design, but because Dawnblade is so fast.
Yep, even Spectral, dude. I've gotten a couple Reapers now and still no 7th column just because you have to get lucky enough with the spawn.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way on a Hunter. You have to hope that you, like, wipe 6 people and that the 6th one spawns right back in front of you because your whole other team is on the other side of the map preventing them from spawning there.
Yeah, because of the spawn system, I was playing a game last night and I was killed. It was a Equinox, actually, one of the best map in the game. It was Control, and all of our team was on one side, and I spawned on the enemy side, and all the other enemies that they had just killed spawned directly behind me.
Yep. That happens.
So that was great.
Silly.
So they also say there is going to be some changes to Spectral Blades coming, but not in this patch. Again, I'm just going to put this out there. With these changes, I don't think it's going to be necessary. Like, I really don't. I bet you people will still complain about it, but if it happens, I don't care. I'm not going to be playing it anyway, but I do think it'll be over the top if they nerf Spectral Blades, to be honest.
Yeah, they're gonna nerf it to the ground like they did with Nova Warp. Realize they fucked up and then bring it back. So it is what it is.
I'm actually okay with that if they do that.
Yeah, Mr. Yoden.
The reason why is because I'm okay with that is because imbalance is something that should exist in a game to a certain degree, but the imbalance should change. So like if you balance everything, nobody's ever going to be happy, because that was the same situation that we were in with year one of Destiny 2. And if you try to balance, like you can try to balance things and bring things in line to where they are, but just as a...
But all this other stuff's getting buffed, Exo. So like,
yeah. Well,
is the Spectral Blades going to be out of place? I don't think so.
Well, no. I think if they nerf it, hunters will just pick another class. Like they'll probably pick Stormcaller for a little bit, then they'll bring it back in line and maybe buff another class when it comes to Solar Week. And so, like,
that's
there
why
needs
I'm
to be a
saying
healthy imbalance.
Doing both seems to be a bit much. Like everything else is getting buffed. So why nerf Spectral? Because then you're just making it an unviable choice at all, you know?
Then again, maybe they're buffing all this stuff before they deal with Spectral just to see how it reacts with the buffs, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, because they have to cross off a checklist, and they have to let it kind of marinate for a little while, whether or not the Spectral Blades in a vacuum, like if they nerf them inside of the... So like they're not doing anything about Spectral Blades right now, but they want to see how it plays with the way it is currently with the buffs. So they might not swing as hard. They said they swung pretty hard with the void wall.
The Nova Warp, yeah.
They might not go as hard on the Spectral Blades, just try to bring it in line. But I do think that imbalance is healthy, and I think that like some things can be imbalanced and other things because it makes it interesting. Without that, you don't have a reason to log on and try new things out. The only reason why you want to play these new Stormcrawler perks or any of the Arc things is because they're buffing them.
Talk to me about these new catalysts. Are you excited for any of them?
I don't even know what the Suros Regime 1 does.
I don't know what any of them do.
Yeah, they haven't told us what any of them do.
They are in the database, though. You can look them up.
Okay, let me see if I can see that.
Yeah, so...
the Prosecutor won't be fun with...
just for our audio listeners, with the Prospector, the Rat King, the Hard Light, and the Suros Regime are all getting new catalysts. These are the first new catalysts we've gotten since Warmind, which is interesting. So... I hope we see more than just these four, like, soon. I hope they put more than just these four catalysts out, because there's a lot of guns I would love to get catalysts for, and these four are not ones that I care about whatsoever, so.
Yeah, we need
Although the Prospector for Riven Cheese could be fun.
Yeah.
Depending what it is.
But it's already, like, really good.
Yeah.
I know, but imagine how much quicker you could kill her, huh?
Honestly, oh, fuck me. Honestly, we need a Jotun catalyst.
Yeah,
you're right.
For BBQ.
I hope
Tracks
it makes
through walls.
the
Let's
blast
go.
radius just the whole map.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
There you go.
Improved tracking. Fires 3 bullets instead of 1. Fires a spread of Jotun projectiles.
They spread out and track people down.
It becomes the triple take of Destiny.
Warlock Bloom ability. What is the Warlock Bloom ability?
That's where stuff gets killed by the void explosion.
So you throw a grenade, and then something next to it will blow up. Or
so that hasn't been working since the start of Destiny 2?
not as well.
Not as well as it should have been. It should be destroying, like, especially in PvE.
All right, good job, Bungie. I wanted to talk about this Xur thing because there's two interpretations of this, and I don't really know, but they're saying Xur's inventory will now offer random rolled perks for armor.
Oh, hang on. Xur is selling the Gwyson vest this week.
Oh yeah, expect lots of spectral blades. Lots and lots of spectral blades.
I want to point this out because when I first read this, I thought, oh, this is exciting. You can dump your legendary shards into buy if there's something you want a perfect roll on, you can just keep buying it over and over till you get a roll that you want. But I don't think that's what is happening. What some people have told me is that apparently every time, for example, Xur brings the spectral blade or the Gwyson vest, it's always the same roll.
Yeah.
Now you're just going to get a different roll once every time it comes, which is not
that's worse because right now the rolls that we have on Xur are curated rolls. Like almost all of the helmets have hand cannon targeting. Like almost all of the basically every piece has meta perks on it. And now they're saying we're taking that away from you. So it's good if you're really into auto rifles.
Can we please just get glass needles back? Like, you had it in the game already. It can't be that hard to put it back in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, do you remember how difficult it was for them in D1 to expand the size of Xur's inventory? Do you remember that huge debacle?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We were like, we need this back at Xur. We need this back at Xur. And they finally came out and said, we just can't make him have that many items because we coded the game to where
his
he
backpack
could only have...
won't carry him or whatever they said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, then. So I'm going to skip over a lot of this stuff.
Okay,
There's
so
some
the
stuff
hard
about
light
game
is 25 stability.
Oh, the catalysts.
Yeah,
okay.
I was looking it up. The hard light is 25 stability, and this is as of October last year. So I mean, things could have changed, but this is all we kind of have now. I looked at the Destiny sets, and all it says is like Tell
us about the other ones.
Yep. Rat King is 20 aim assist, 20 recoil. Infestation, which is improved aim assist and recoil direction refreshes. Health on vermin, invisibility trigger.
Suros
is 50 recoil direction, and Suros Ascendance, which is increase for chance on kill to regen health.
What? Wait, hold on.
That doesn't sound
so
right.
So the Suros already has a chance to regen health on a kill.
There's a better chance?
Why didn't they just make it guaranteed? Like, make it like the Red Death.
It's not guaranteed?
No.
Why would you
use
the
random RNG gun?
RNG the gun.
Why would you use that gun?
Prospector is 40 blast radius and increased ammo reserves. Prospector's already crazy, though. It's already crazy.
Yeah, the blast radius will be good for Riven, but who cares? I'm not excited for any of those, really. Maybe Prospector if I get it by accident, but I'm more excited for Wardcliff, which I never got, so...
Oh, I just completed that this past week. Because I got it in the first week of Forsaken when we were doing that strike together. And I finally just completed it. Because you have to get...
why you waited so long.
It's just the amount of kills you have to get is ridiculous. It's like you have to, like 300 and 250 kills or something like that, or 500 kills.
Huh.
I really want the Huckleberry Catalyst, but I'm not going to farm Heroic Adventures.
I can actually help you with that. I have a method.
I'm sure that there's a method, but it doesn't make me want to do it anymore.
No, but you'll get it. You'll get it within the first 5 or 6.
Really?
Probably, yeah.
I
got it. I think I only did it I did it for 1 or 2 days, and I got it on like the 10th or 11th time.
Okay.
Because there's a farming method that I did to do it, and
I'm in.
All right, so there's some changes to Gambit and Gambit Prime, which I significantly don't care about. How about you guys?
Couldn't care less.
I mean, I play a lot of Gambit lately, so I don't mind it. It's the fact that they're giving more weapons if the longer you stay in, fantastic, because sometimes those weapons are really difficult to drop. Like it took me forever to get a spare rations, so I understand it. The invasion kill heal, I mean, it should have stayed 12, because sometimes when you're solo queuing or your team's absolute shit, that little bit actually does help. I don't know. They are what they are. They're not anything fantastic. They're not anything big. Nothing huge.
Okay.
Nothing really to talk too much about.
So, as somebody who's playing Gambit a lot right now, what are the biggest problems with Gambit?
Biggest problems?
Are there big problems? Do you feel frustrated?
It might be a shorter
Gambit,
list for him to tell us what's good about it.
See, I don't really know of any huge problems other than just getting paired up against people who have full sets.
It's heavy, right?
As far as gamer, heavy is a big problem.
The RNG heavy bricks and the Thunderlords and machine guns.
Thunderlords, any fucking machine gun that comes over and they think they're gods because they got kills across the map with a Thunderlord.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. If 1K is a little bit more, I guess, acceptable in my mind, because you kind of have to spray and pray sometimes. Because you can get away from a 1K shot, especially if it's far enough away. But just coming over and just spraying Thunderlord, come on, get your shit together.
Or
like try to snipe something, or Mr. Jotun here.
Which is
really any of that kind of
it's
spray and
really
pray
useful
stuff.
on any of the yellow bars. I don't actually use it on
for
on
PV
enemies.
for PVE stuff.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Jotun's great, but when it comes to player versus player interactions, Jotun is such a shitbag meta. It's bullshit, dude. It's tracking the game. It's dumb.
If they were to do the locked loadouts like we've been suggesting for the past couple of weeks, I guarantee Jotun would never make it in the PvP loadout.
I'm going to say something kind of ironic here. Like, to be honest with you, like I haven't played that much Gambit, but every time I play Gambit, I can tell you invasions are best with a sniper, and it's pretty damn easy to hit them when you have markers over their head, but you actually have to aim the weapon, so a lot of people won't use it. So I think, unfortunately, the mechanics the way they are, no matter what they change about the heavy balance and everything, there's always going to be a problem because of that.
Yeah, fair.
I think it's more beneficial that they change the bounty. The fact that you don't have to do as many wins on a thing for I'm a closer weekly. That's a bigger change.
Stay. No, that should.
So
if you're playing Gambit Prime,
so you have to play less.
You're trying.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they should. You should have to
Season of
grind.
the
If you want
Drifter. We
easier,
want
go
you
to
to play
regular
less
Gambit.
Gambit.
You already have.
If you want easy Gambit, go to regular
play.
Gambit.
By the end of those 4 games, though, you should have everything that you have. You should have it.
So you don't have to play anymore, so you can just get out of the game. Like they want you to stay in the game. They want you to be engaged. They want you to do stuff. So just to give you the 4 games and get out, that's so casual.
Yeah,
that's so ridiculous.
If you have other characters, like if you have 3 characters, I think you should.
So then you're gonna play more. They want you to put your time into the game. Why give you a thing? This is why we've ended up the way we have in Destiny 2.
I'll say
because people just want shit handed to them.
I'll say this. I think.
Well, I don't know if
it would have been better. It would have been
like the actual activity itself is okay. It's all right, but it's not it's not something that I just want to just like, well, I'm logging on to play Gambit Prime. That's my issue.
I really wish that with the armor sets that they would have made it so that you can farm all of the different invasion, sentry, whatever things, and just put those abilities on a single set of armor and be able to toggle between them, because having 4 sets in your inventory is completely unreasonable for anybody.
The way they set up those sets is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There's no need for the first 2 tier sets. No need for them at all.
Yeah.
Go for Notorious. There should have been no tier 1, tier 2. As far as the activity, sure, but as far as the sets, that's dumb as shit. Yeah. What's the point? You're gonna delete that armor anyways and never do those activities again. Yeah. Why?
And probably never do Gambit Prime again.
Yeah.
Oh,
even though you just work to, it's like there's those weird video games where you work all game to like get things. Like there's like some weird for like what's the word I'm looking for? Like single player games where it like at the very end of the game, like before the last boss, you get like a double jump or something, or like a gun that makes everything die in one hit, and you're like, wow, I really could have used this for the entire game. Is there a new game plus? And they're like, no, you just don't get to use it.
Yeah, like, you can go like fight random trash mobs, have fun.
Yeah, but it doesn't work against trash mobs. You can't use the armor anywhere but Gambit Prime. It's only good for one thing.
I just meant like in your example.
Oh,
There's no new game plus.
Well, that's what it feels like. It's like once you succeed, it's only useful for.
You're just going in there to pog dog on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the decisions are weird and questionable, but I don't know. I still enjoy Destiny. I know you guys are more or less burnt out in different ways or for other reasons.
No, the thing I was saying was like, because currently the I'm a Closer bounty is 3 for a win and 1 for a loss. You're gonna get the 12 points anyway, regardless if you win every single game. But if you lose every single game, you're gonna have to play 12 games, and that's not good. In this case where they change it to 2 points for loss, it's 5 games.
6
I think
games?
5 or 6. Yeah, 6.
12 at 6.
6
All
games.
right. Last thing before we talk about leaks, and we'll give you a spoiler warning before we get to that. But I just wanted to address the elephant in the room, the discussion we had last week. There was an official announcement, if you live under a rock and haven't heard yet, that PvP is not getting removed from the game.
I was Reck's conspiracy theories, but it
is a conspiracy. It was a kind of a conspiracy theory, and we kind of talked about it. You said we talked about it last week too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say that DMG came out on Reddit and Twitter and everything, and basically just said, "Hey guys, we have no plans to remove the Crucible." And he even shut down like the premise that it would be like not the Crucible anymore and just like a controlled PvE VP experience. That's not happening either. The Crucible will be there, but it will be different. There's going to be changes, obviously, to the sandbox. There's always changes, but the Crucible is going to be there, so don't worry about it. John Wisniewski and Josh Hamrick leaving was not a sign that the Crucible is going away. So,
well, that's good.
Yep. All right. Anything else before the leaks, or should we just jump right into it?
Yeah.
For our audio listeners, if you can count how many dog barks there has been in this podcast, tweet me and we'll talk about it.
He'll give you a piece of candy.
Yeah, I'll give you a piece of candy.
Yeah, you have to get in the van first, though. You don't get the candy.
Leave a comment.
There's no windows.
Is there comments on Podbean or anything like that? Or no?
So, Eddie, though, are you going to actually go back and count this, or are you just going to count on wits?
I'm just hoping that somebody counts them. Just
thanks.
I want to know. I'm genuinely curious. If someone is listening and they want to count the barks for me, please tell me so I can. I just want to know.
Are you actually going to give me candy?
Maybe.
I actually have
I need something firm,
I want to try as well. So
I'll give you something firm.
So, guys, I have a copy of Metro Exodus to give away. I already have the game, and one came with my 2080 Ti. Nice. So after I redeem it, I'm thinking next week on the podcast, somewhere in the middle of the episode, so that people have to listen for it, I'm going to read off the code. All right? And whoever claims it, claims it.
That's
I
good.
like that.
So I'll put an announcement on Twitter later tonight about it. We'll try and promote it as much as possible and see who the lucky person is to get a copy of Metro Exodus. It's a great game, by the way. You should totally want to play it.
It
sounds good.
It looks awesome. Wait, can I listen for it?
I guess nobody would know. You just hear
you're gonna be like reading it out.
You got it to retweet you or something like that, right? Like you want him to.
You just hear me read off the code, and Huffy's like,
I'm dead. You gotta ask us all to put our hands up.
Yeah.
What you should do is actually mute your microphone in the stream and in Discord so no one can hear until they listen to the podcast.
Dude, Witch is gonna get the game.
But that's a good point. Shit. That's a good point. Oh, fuck.
Awesome. All right, so we got some more leaks from our boy, Anon the Nine.
Spoiler alert.
Big spoiler alert. Yeah. Well,
you don't want spoilers.
This is the problem. Like this is what I'm going to preface this with, and this is the problem that I have with 8 on the 9 Destiny leaks, and the same problem existed in Destiny 1. What I've been trying to say is that I think it's not only funny, but I think it's bad that they're trying to get us, or even if this is a controlled leak from Bungie, which we don't know for sure if it is or isn't. I don't like the idea of the focus moving from where we are now to Destiny 3. Like we're just gonna give up on Destiny 2 and move to Destiny 3.
So I have something I want to say about that.
That won't necessarily answer the problems, because the same thing that happened in Destiny 2. I was watching back an old Dado video about the entire, like this was before Destiny 2 launched, and he said they don't have laurels to rest on. They definitely have to prove themselves. There's from the Taken King, and then the second expansion that they had after that, the Rise of Iron, wasn't really an expansion either. And the major expansion was the Taken King, which was year 1. The same thing happened with Forsaken, and year 2. The same thing happened with Forsaken, and if we fall into the same problem that we have again,
I have bad news for you, Exo. It's going to be worse.
I think it's going to be.
I have bad news for you. I'm going to put this out there. All right, so they got Rise of Iron in Destiny 1 after the Taken King. I don't think that's happening. I'm pretty sure this is what's going to happen in September. From what I've read, I've read a couple things on Reddit, and things turned out to be wrong. I was totally wrong about the PvP thing.
Well, this actually says
this sounds plausible to me, that in September there will be no expansion, and we're going to get a whole nother annual pass.
That's the problem that I have right there, because then we're falling into the same trap, if not worse than that. Then
it's worse.
Than Rise of Iron.
Rise of Iron
was actually.
But does anybody think that's not going to happen? Does anybody think we're getting a big expansion?
No, I don't think we are, but I'm upset about it, because what they're like, that the part that we're focusing on about Destiny 2 year 3, there's one paragraph, and the rest of it is all Destiny 3.
Yeah.
My thought is, if we get an expansion in September, they have done so fucking well to hide that shit. Because there's nothing about it. Well, they
did, but so that's what they did with Rise of Iron, though. To play devil's advocate, we didn't know about Rise of Iron until like the summer.
Yeah,
true.
That's true. Good.
I enjoyed it. I love the aesthetic of it. I love this. I love the whole Siva thing of it. I really enjoyed Rise of Iron. That's where I really, really got into Destiny. Like, really enjoyed it. Like, because I picked it up during Taken King.
As much as this stuff, like these leaks, excite me about Destiny 3, if it's all the way till 2020, I just don't know how they're going to sustain us on annual pass content if it's similar to what we've seen so far.
Borderlands 3.
They're not going to be able to.
Yeah, exactly, man. We're not going to be playing this game really much.
Division 2 raids, they, like, no spoiler alert, but 12-player raids are in there. But I want to talk about, before we get to that, I actually want to talk about some of the Shadow of 8 on the 9's replies, that he actually suggested that the PC Destiny 2 might not even come out. He said Destiny when somebody asked him, is the PC in development because it was created by Vicarious Visions, was it actually in development? And he said that it's expected, but it's not confirmed.
I would say they would be dumb.
They will not cut.
Like PC. I know, but who are they getting to do?
There's people who literally built a PC just to play Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I don't. If they did that, I would be throwing this franchise away. If they said, we're cutting PC, I would say, okay.
They would never do that. They fuck up a lot of shit, but they would never cut PC.
I would say most of the player base is more active on PC than it is console. They might be
hiring a new team, though, to handle that side of the development. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the question, right? So like that. Yeah. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because Vicarious Visions, it is still up in the air about, because we know. Well, we talked about that
when Activision split. When Activision split, we said Vicarious Visions and High Moon Studios were owned by Activision, and we weren't sure who was going to start handling the stuff that they were. I think that
confirms, though, that if that's true, I think that confirms Vicarious Visions isn't doing the PC version, and someone else is.
No, yeah, they're not. They said that this new season coming up soon is the last thing from any of those studios.
So then
this
year,
one song
Destiny
is what they
2
said.
Year 3 is still an Activision venture then?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, Season of Opulence will be the last Activision-sponsored Destiny.
Everything after that is completely on Bungie.
Which makes me wonder. So they've been saying, like, hey, this annual pass has basically been managed by Vicarious Visions. And it's like, so if we're getting a year 2 or a year 3 annual pass to hold us over till Destiny 3, who's doing that? The live team or what?
Or maybe they had them handle that so they could work on a new expansion for year 3.
Who?
The Bungie themselves. They had Vicarious Visions and High Moon work on this annual pass, so that way Bungie could focus.
3.
But
I'm saying, what about next year's annual pass, like September?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if it's not an annual pass? What if it actually ends up being a full-blown expansion?
Yeah, he's saying is Vicarious Vision taking over next year, starting from September to Destiny 3. That gives them the ability to focus solely on Destiny 3.
No, he was saying
no. That's not at all what I'm saying. At all.
He's saying that
friend.
For the past however long since September, that Vicarious has been handling this annual pass, so that this September 2019, that they would be able to launch some expansion.
And that's my guess. They're working.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, buying them time to actually work on something more.
Gotcha.
Is my thought. It's possible. Whether it's true or not, I have no clue. But my thought is, if they had a whole other
made Rise
set
of
of
Iron,
team,
guys. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it wasn't the full studio that made Rise of Iron. The live team did it by themselves, so it's possible we're getting an expansion. God, I hope we're getting something bigger than this annual pass content, because I can't handle it.
Logic says if they had a whole nother studio working on this annual pass content, what the fuck have they been doing then? They had to have been working on something other than Destiny 3.
Well, I don't know if we're going to talk about the Jason Schreier article about Anthem.
Oh yeah, I was just going to bring that up, dude.
Nothing for 6 years. They could have been doing nothing for 6 years.
Nothing. So I read this whole article. I am mind blown. So listen to this.
It's nuts.
Let me give you a little bit of a summary. So for 7 years, just about
6 years, yeah, because it was in development for a total of 7.
Nothing at BioWare towards Anthem. Basically, there was 2 studios working on it, completely disconnected. They'd have these major leadership meetings where they would like say, "This is what we want to do with the game," and there would be disagreements, and then there would be leadership. Leadership would just go, we'll come back to this another day.
BioWare Houston developed Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the MMO. So they kept giving them. They were like the Edmonton studio. I think it's Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, well, let me give you some advice about. We've dealt with these problems, and they were like, well, you're not BioWare like proper, so we're not even gonna listen to you. Like they didn't even listen to their feedback about the online systems.
Here's another funny thing. You know how a lot of people were like, oh yeah, EA must have ruined the game, forced them to make like poor decisions and stuff like that. Here's the ironic thing. They showed EA a demo before, like a year before launch.
2017,
Right, and so the EA rep that was handling their game, I can't remember his name.
Patrick.
He plays the demo.
It starts with an S. Yeah.
Yes, Suda Mayor or something. I can't remember. But anyway, he goes.
That's the Supreme
He
Court
plays,
justice, actually.
You're right. Yeah. But he plays the demo and he goes, "This is garbage."
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be flying in this game. There was no.
And they were like, "Oh crap, we got to put flying in the game." So what they did was they put flying in the game a month before. They rebuilt the demo.
EA put the only good thing in the game, the flying. If it wasn't for EA, there would be no flying.
The thing that they showed off at EA at E3 2017 was completely made up for 2017. Like it wasn't even in-game gameplay at all. It wasn't even a demo. And at that point, that's when the entire, like both studios realized, oh, that's what we're doing. We're not doing a looter shooter. Like none of them could talk about
They didn't even know it was
going
to be a looter shooter.
Yeah, they didn't know it was going to be a looter shooter.
Oh my fucking God.
For 6 years.
How are you that disconnected? Holy shit.
It's a mind-blowing article to read. I'd say it's worth everyone's time. It's very long, like 10,000 words.
It'll take you about an hour
like
to read it.
Yeah. But it was if it makes Bungie look very organized. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
Fair. All right, so back to what we were talking about, the leaks and stuff, right?
Yeah. Good.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to get us back on track.
Yeah. I think it's relevant. It's a big news
It is
story
because the
this
same
week.
kind of thing happened with Destiny, but Destiny made, like Bungie made, the choices. Activision cracked the whip a lot sooner than EA did for BioWare.
Yeah, but it's EA, so.
You're muted.
You are muted. We can't hear you.
I just can't.
What's going on?
This is all going to be audio.
Your mic is dead. Your mic is dead.
Either your mic is dead or you're muted.
Rip Huffy, guys.
I just can't believe for 6 years, though. For 6 years, they were in pre-production, and only 16 months they were in full development.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. No wonder it shits the bed.
I think the game, knowing that now, I think they should honestly just give up on trying to salvage it, refund everybody.
100%. And wash their hands of it.
Yeah.
Just
and move on.
Chalk it up to a loss and say, thanks, Apex Legends, for pulling our February out of the butt.
Pretty much, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I was saying is, I love leaks, but I just can't read a single another Paul Tassi article. I just need somebody else to write the fucking Destiny articles.
I thought you were Paul Tassi's biggest fan.
He was.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
he just wants more Paul Tassis around. That's what he said last week.
Please,
he wants more Paul Tassis.
Please,
just a legion of them.
He actually said Paul Tassi was our Lord and Savior. I remember.
He actually did say
don't
that.
You have? Hold on. Don't you have that Paul Tassi tattoo on your ass?
Oh my, Paul Tassi.
I think it was 24 minutes in, and he said that Paul Tassi, he looks at him like a father figure. That it's a direct quote from Huffy.
Yeah.
I did in fact.
He also
say
has
that.
a date with that Amazon guy's wife, don't you? Now that she's all divorced and stuff,
and has all that money.
Yeah. Oh my
Jeff
God.
Bezos.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos' wife.
Yeah, that's right.
Only 80
Dude, Bezos
billion,
cast
I think.
is back.
Nobody knows Jeff Bezos' wife's name.
No, she's just
Emily.
Jeff
It was
Bezos'
Emily.
wife.
I saw it in an article last night. It was Emily. I couldn't remember the last name.
She's
though.
so rich.
Yeah.
I'd get a divorce too, bro.
25% of the stock is left in her hands. That's still billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I seem
dude.
to have lost everybody here.
Oh man, we're having all sorts of difficulties.
Guys,
they may have just lost
difficulty
me.
Cast.
Welcome to BuardianCast.
Yeah, we can hear you, dude.
It's really weird that we can hear him, but he can't hear us.
I'm pretty sure this is one. You remember back when EXO used to make jokes that weren't funny, and he would just like, he would just.
You mean every week?
I remember like specifically there were these like 2 episodes in a row where he just like pretended to not be able to hear us, and then at the end he was like, oh, "I'm kidding." Wait, what? We were like, "Dude, what do you
guys,
mean?
I miss EXO. This captain guy.
What did I do?
Yeah, we'll have to find it. There were these like 2 episodes in a row where you made this joke where you're like, "Oh, I can't hear you guys," and you could hear us, and you egged it on for like 3 minutes, and we couldn't really tell if you were serious or not, and then you were like, "No, I'm kidding. I could hear you."
Yeah, so the first person to go back through all of our episodes and pull that,
yeah,
the timestamp, you'll win a piece of candy from Eddie. So
yeah, I've got plenty. Actually, got $100,000 right now. So if you want a great shiny $100,000 bar,
nice.
Yeah.
This the leak article isn't written by Paul Tassi, which is it disappoints Huffy. I know.
But, yeah, but if you just type Destiny into Google, like Bungie is like below Paul Tassi. It's like Paul.
Wait, guys, so do you think I should actually read the code off in audio format, or should I put it in the video format and make it like a single frame, or like 10 frames, like in the middle of the video?
Should just read it off.
I think you should systematically put it in, work a number or letter of it into
letter in, yeah.
It's
an
like
ARG?
the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Dude.
I love bees, man. Let's do it.
All right. So we haven't talked about any of these leaks.
No, not at all. Yep.
No, we've been fucking around for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right, so Destiny 2 Year 3. Anybody?
We don't know anything about it. Other than the
we
fact
don't
that it's
know
going to be
shit,
an
dude.
annual
We don't know
pass.
shit until we know shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be an annual pass, dude. It's gonna be fucking. I can't. If there's not maps
about this, is that the Forsaken content that
Huffy's
they're
map
doing
pack,
in
dude.
the annual pass is going to be broken up better, so that we have the content that we have in a big chunk like Forsaken. It's just going to be split up though. So like Forsaken front loaded it, and then we had no content pretty much after that. This is going to be different.
But is that
where
any better?
If you take the content of the entire year 2, you're going to split it up into 4 sections.
But it says that there'll be a larger entry in the first iteration than the other.
Well, than the annual pass. We both know.
Yeah,
that
but
there
it'll
was
still be.
dick at the
But
beginning
the
of annual
idea
pass.
there is that it's still smaller. Like it's the bigger chunk. There's going to be bigger chunks, but it's going to be smaller than Forsaken because they're.
I don't think people are going to buy this, man. Like, because this annual pass has been so bad, I think a lot of people are going to say F that.
They're going to have to straight up call it an expansion and not an annual pass. They're going to have to name it differently because they have completely soured the taste of annual pass.
Yeah, but you know,
us.
like that would just piss people off even more if they misrepresent what it is.
Even
And
if
it's
they
the
want-
Well, that's what
exact
I'm saying.
same
They're going to have to
thing.
call it something else than an
Yeah.
annual pass or an expansion. They're going to have to call it something else because they've completely soured us on annual pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like season
need-
pass. They soured us on too, though. They don't have anything to call it.
Well, yeah.
They really need. I'm honestly so fucking tired of our maps that I need them to not only give you a map pack, but take all the old maps out of the game and give me like 20 new ones. That's the only way.
Just give you a fucking like blank vector to shoot everybody on,
Well,
right?
actually, like if you like specifically took out like the 3 maps that they added for Breakthrough or whatever it's called, then that would be
be
the
great.
best.
And also, if you took out every map that was designed for 2 primaries. Oh, fucking wait a second. So that's a
every map.
fucking lot. All of them.
Mm.
It's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, what if you had to play Overwatch on like League of Legends maps? It
Mhm.
wouldn't make sense because it's not what the game was designed for.
It was
We
like
have
Overwatch 2.
fundamentally different.
Wait, so you want
shooting
Overwatch maps? What you're
mechanics,
saying?
now than we did for what the maps were designed for. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but coagulation and Blood Gulch. That's the whole point that they do this stuff.
Beaver Creek,
That's the
bro.
reason. It's Beaver Creek and what was the name of it? I can't even remember. Beaver Creek. and
Valhalla.
Valhalla
Those
got a
would be
rematch.
Much better.
I looked
maps
at my
than
phone for 2
Midtown.
seconds. You guys were in
Lockdown.
fucking Valhalla.
Like Call
The
of
hell's
Duty
happening?
does this, but they do it in like their maps are just more.
Team BR's on lockdown. Just veto
But
so you get
let's
Team
be
BR's on
real.
lockdown. Everybody veto.
Call of Duty has people working on their multiplayer right now. We haven't seen shit as far as Crucible.
They
in
also
how long now?
use the Call of Duty engine, which is way better to design. They can design a map in like
Well, that's what I'm
weeks.
saying. We haven't seen shit.
Mhm.
So what the hell's going on?
Bro,
I don't know.
I'm just saying, y'all figured out Forge mode like a long time ago. Just like, I don't know, put in Forge mode and like sit
Yeah.
your fucking Crucible designers in a Airbnb for a week and make them throw some crates around. Just
Yeah.
give us some maps. I'm not playing Midtown. I'm not playing Countdown on Midtown a single time more.
Just give us First Light, dude. Just come on.
I'm gonna vomit.
First
Eddie.
light.
I'm
All right,
sorry, I had to do it.
So, some new locations that are confirmed. We're getting something called Old Chicago, Europa on Earth, and then a return to Venus. So
I am
he's saying that's
most-
all confirmed.
I'm most
Europa is
excited
not
about
on
Old
Earth, it's a-
Chicago
it's a
because I
moon.
want an Earth location that looks different than Russia and looks different than
yeah.
what we've got with the EDZ.
I'm excited for Europa. I've seen concept art of that. Venus, I have to say,
I don't care.
Nessus is the same.
Nessus is exactly
Yeah.
the same.
Is
And,
there
and,
They're gonna have to
and
give us some
Venus,
story reason to go to
was it
Venus,
Shores of
though.
Time is a Venus map, but it's Nessus now. So
Yeah.
Are they gonna make Shores of Time? That's what they got for you, Huffy. They got a Venus Shores of Time coming at you.
I'm gonna cry.
Lore-wise, hold on. Lore-wise,
really loud.
Nessus looks the way it does because it was a centaur, right, or whatever they called it.
Centaur planet, yeah.
Because it was developed by the Vex. The Vex took over Venus and made it look all like that. No, a centaur
is a planetoid. It's a small version of a planet,
but it looks like Venus because the Vex put all of their architecture into taking over the Centaur, which is why it looks.
Is Nessus a real planet, or did they make it up?
No, Nessus is an actual real Centaur. It actually is a Centaur. It's a planet. A Centaur is a planetoid. It actually is a real planetoid, and the actual terminology is a Centaur planet.
All right, so this is what I'm interested in
on old Chicago.
Yeah.
Apparently, so there's literally only one Destiny 2 image that is of concept art that relates to it. But apparently that's where lore-wise the Graviton Lance was found. So that might give us some kind of clue as to what it might look like. And I think that's cool because the Graviton Lance is one of the neatest design concept weapons in the game.
It's definitely different. I mean, yeah. What if we're gonna get some more kind of spacey, kind of arty type shit? If when we go to Old Chicago, kind of the Graviton Lance, how it's very kind of sleek and art designed, cool. If you will.
Maybe the main villain will be like a mafia boss.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Torrio.
I'm gonna scream if he's a mafia boss that makes Crucible maps. I'm fucking into it.
All right, endgame locations. I'm interested in this because we're finally getting some answers on the weird triangles at the end of the original Destiny 2 campaign.
Oh yeah, the Veil
never got answered. It's going to be a whole new enemy race known as the Veil.
Yeah.
It's about time we got another enemy race, guys, because
they actually in every new
Vex
thing
with cloaks.
In these 2 weeks they actually mentioned there was 2 new races. There's the Aphelion and then there's the Veil.
Yeah. But I have a thing I have to say with the other even with the old enemy races in Destiny 3, there better be new AI mechanics. Do not recycle these. It's not a new game if you recycle these and they act exactly the same and are so stupid.
So So I know the when I saw a picture of that black ball that was at the end of, because I didn't remember it, but when we fought the god at the end of D1, there was a black ball, but he was like a green shifting black ball that looked like he was space and things like that inside of it. I think that might be how it looks. How their skin might look. I can find it. Let me find a picture. Let me see. Because you probably don't remember it.
It's supposed. I remember
the heart in the Black Garden, right?
I saw my
dad it's in the Black Garden.
Once,
it's the black ball. It was like a green shifting black ball.
I saw that too, Huffy. Honestly, I liked it. It made me happy.
You make me happy.
I didn't hear the joke.
Is one of the new races the Moth people? Are we getting the Moth people yet?
No.
Oh.
It might be the Aphelion though. We don't know.
Nah, dude. If it's not the Mothman, I'm out.
The Moth people are sick.
Yeah, they are.
And for some, I don't know, the Moth people are really cool. And for some reason, they put if you look at the concept art, the Moth people have these circular markings that appear all over their body and wings, and those same markings appeared on the Destiny 2 Year 1 Trials armor, the flawless sets. So I was super interested to see what the tie-in was there, but
well, the 9 are very closely related to whatever this bigger threat is.
Yeah.
Right? So that would make sense lore-wise, or at least logically.
A lot of this other stuff we have talked about before, darkness-based abilities, choosing between light and dark. I think that's an interesting concept. Open world PvE, PvE.
The darkness-based abilities he commented on too. He says he doesn't know if it means that they're going to make new subclasses or they're integrating the darkness abilities into the current subclasses.
Probably that.
Well, even if they're the same subclasses, I hope that they change
the color of the ability.
Just nerf Spectral Blades.
No,
You know?
Just change the color. Just make it green.
I hope that they change the kits of the subclasses so that they feel a lot different.
There was
Even if they gave us D1 type subclasses where we could pick and choose.
Yeah, I want like actual nodes that you can like expand upon.
They did say that
it's going to be more RPG heavy, so I mean, it's possible.
He did say that during the the Penumbra expansion, we lost Duffy.
Right.
During the next this Penumbra expansion, we're gonna find out that Callus actually gets his power from the darkness.
Okay.
So he's gonna get his like we're gonna find out that he gets his power from the veil and like that's gonna lead into actually all of this expansion is gonna lead into Destiny Year 3. And
my thought is.
So the one thing I want to read from this is, as you were saying, the big overarching theme of Destiny 3, the exciting prospect of it is that the goal of Destiny 3 is to cater to the hardcore audience more than anything. Supposedly much more difficult than previous entries, and will focus on how the hardcore community of the franchise will play. More RPG elements and in its design compared to the previous entries. I hope all that's true, because that is the only way to keep people interested in PvE. I think that it's something that everybody's been clamoring for a long time.
The power level system needs to change big time.
Yeah, I mean, that's one aspect of it, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to change. And I just really hope that there's a real challenge in the game, especially even on the solo side. Even the campaign should have a challenging mode. Like, you at least have different difficulty settings or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Or even like world tiers. I mean,
full agreement.
Something to up the difficulty.
They're going to be doing a similar system to the mission based system that we had with killing the 9 whatever it was, where we have to kill the 7 Entombed, which is the 7 leaders of the Veil. So that might be how the story is mentioned. They mentioned 12 player raids. Actually, there's 2 raids
that will never happen.
There's 2 raids. There's 2 raids that they say are going to launch with Destiny 3. And the first will be a Hive related one that they don't have any information, or he didn't have any information on. The second one is where we actually go and fight.
You're talking about the 4chan stuff now, because Anon didn't say any of this stuff.
Yes. Yep.
I don't buy it, and I mean, here's why. Because since this is a game that relies on voice communication, since we can all agree there's going to be a console version, so like it's not like you can just communicate through text.
Right.
12 people are just not possible to communicate with efficiently via voice.
You can't organize 12 people in Destiny. That's ridiculous. Like,
I mean, you could if you had a dungeon finder. If you had a dungeon finder matchmaking system with like requirements that you could set, that'd be no problem. The problem comes into is if there's mechanics that require communication, not for console without voice, and you can't talk to 12 people. I think anything more than 6 is really pushing it.
You remember doing 9?
I think PlayStation has.
You remember doing
10
9
max?
in the what is it, the event that we did on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
and it was just
protocol.
insane communication.
Escalation protocol.
Yeah.
I can't even stream raids because I get fucking overwhelmed with 6 people in a chat room.
Same.
You know?
No, but
really
worse than
overwhelming.
raids, Huffy, honestly, is 6 people in a Crucible
With
together.
Monster.
Dude, 6 people in Crucible together just going, oh, this fucking guy with the fucking thing just complaining.
Oh, he's over here. Oh.
Yo, I miss Monster. I haven't played with him forever. So loud.
He does address the 4chan post, and that was what I linked to you guys. He said that he doesn't he understands the questions about it. He confirmed what he could about what he knew was happening for sure based on Anon's leaks. That 12 man's raids were talked about. But it's not present in any of the Crucible leaks. So, take that, I guess, with a grain of salt. What he was talking about was D3. So he didn't want to.
Yeah, I am excited for some of the stuff in the 4chan leak, if any of it's true, with like, you know, the factions and stuff like that. But
Factions
I don't want to give it too much clout, because I just it's so early, and like Anon didn't confirm any of that stuff, so like we'll have to see going forward.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not going to take any actual, you know, Destiny 3 leaks serious until we get a trailer or something, anything about Destiny 3.
Well,
also, fuck you, dogs! You're a bunch of dicks!
It definitely, like, the Heart of the Hallowed Spire definitely fits in, though, with the raid being that. I don't know about
He's got a dog shelter over there.
Well, I don't know about 2 raids, and I definitely don't know about 12-player raids, but the Heart of the Hallowed Spire being the place where you go into, you know, you go to take out the god of the nameless one, or whatever, the formless one they call him. But that's definitely it definitely lines up with the enemy that we're dealing with in Destiny, that we be dealing with in Destiny 3.
Yeah, but you could like concoct that slyly out of fan fiction. You know, like it's it makes sense because somebody either made it up or it's true, but that doesn't lend any credibility to it.
The only credibility it has is that it wasn't made up by somebody unfamiliar with the franchise.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
But all you'd have to do is go into any random piece of grimoire that no one has ever read and like pull some names out of it and be like, yeah, this guy's the raid boss. And everybody would be like, oh shit, he's in the grimoire cards. That means that he's the raid boss.
Yeah.
It does say that Trials of the Nine is coming back, and it's hosted by the Nine themselves, not agents of the Nine, and that they would have a specific faction in the game.
I'm fine with that. I'm just not giving them tokens. If I get tokens, then I'm gonna eat them.
Dismantle every single game.
What if they call them boons?
No.
If they call them boons?
No more currency. Just drop shit on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'll pick it up.
Yeah. I agree.
No more fucking tokens.
I just think they keep trying to have to reinvent Destiny, and I think like I don't know.
They wouldn't have to reinvent it if they just made the game we want it to be.
They had it right the first time.
They
got it right.
The same thing. But I just remember, I don't know if you guys how deep you guys were into the marketing stuff of the original Destiny, but they never called
They got that wrong.
They never called it what it actually was. Which
if you can see it, you can go to it.
They wouldn't say MMORPG.
Specifically avoided that. Yeah.
And they also did this thing where they were like, open world experience, and they look off into the distance and they're like, you see that over there? If you can see it, you can explore it. It's like,
which was utter horseshit.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like the marketing material, like the stuff around that, like we'd be like, okay, well, what's Destiny? It's like and that's all. That's the only answer like you really had. Like it's online, I guess. I mean, you can play with your friends. It's a game where you shoot things. I don't really know what's going on because the missions are kind of terrible.
Yeah. But it was good.
I don't want to drag it out too much more unless you guys have something of substance that you want to bring up before we end.
No, my dog's gonna lose their shit if we go on too much longer.
Europa.
The last thing that I want to say is that Borderlands 3 is coming out, you know. And
September 13th.
September 13th.
I'm just saying that Borderlands 3 is on the Epic Store, and if you would be so kind to use code Huffy.
That's actually
GG.
That is a good. Oh God.
Huffy GG. Creator code Huffy GG in the Epic Store when you pre-order Borderlands 3. Hey,
that's a good topic.
It buys me a sandwich. Hey,
that's a good topic of conversation just to throw in here. I don't know if you guys have seen, but this Epic Store exclusivity thing is like,
it's growing
I don't
larger.
give a shit about it, dude. But like the internet is so pissed that they are literally review bombing Borderlands 1 and 2 on Steam because of it.
I think that's just part of ignorance because they don't realize how well Epic treats their companies and their games, and like how much Steam, like how big a chunk Like they take.
Well, the big controversy, they say, I understand what you're saying because it's
I don't want another launcher.
No, it's 17% of the revenue or something like that.
I got it. Hang on.
But anyway, so the reason that people are complaining about Epic is because apparently they collect your data and sell it or something like that.
Everybody collects your data and sell it. It's 2019.
Yeah.
They also pay.
All right.
They pay the companies. And they support content creators, and they frequently update their games, and they're the first engine to offer us like a widespread cross-platform experience that bridged Switch and Sony and Microsoft, and even the possibility of having that kind of access for a game like Borderlands, the possibility of being able to play on PC with my friends on Xbox gets me stoked.
The revenue split. The revenue split is the
Yeah.
biggest thing that helps them. In addition to them basically throwing a pile of money at Randy Pitchford and Borderlands 3, which makes the game better. But the revenue split is the biggest thing. So the image I just linked you guys was the revenue split of what Unreal Engine 4 games are on Steam and Unity games are on Steam. There's a 30% cut that Steam takes from the developers, so the developer would be left
30%. I had read it was like 17%.
30% is what Steam takes. And
it might be negotiated with each publisher.
Unreal Engine 4
indie
takes about 5% of that cut. And Unity on Steam, they get if you're a Unity game and not Unreal Engine, you get a full 70%. But with Epic, they give you 12. They only take 12%, so they give you 88% of the cut. Like they give you a lot more. That's twice. That's more than twice the amount that Steam gives you back.
Interesting.
The amount of money that they're taking.
I mean,
that is.
I like the bottom part of the
thing.
graph the best.
Yeah.
Like if you look right there underneath the little tile, it says Huffy GG. I'm not really sure what that means.
All right.
I don't know. All I know is if you go to gamergoo.com and
Jesus Christ.
use
Guys, I'm announcing. No, I was gonna say a sponsorship.
I'm dead.
Anyway, it's been awesome talking to you guys this week.
Exo changed his name to some.
Yeah, Exo's name is.
Hold on, let's address that before we go.
Really quick.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Really quick.
Explain yourself.
Yes. Go. Yeah. Let's hear why the name change.
Okay. So let me back up.
No.
Okay.
I don't want a life story.
You have 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't, give me. It'll take just a little bit because I think names are important. Okay. And I think because
when I was bored,
you can tell a story with just the name in certain situations. Okay. If the story the name tells is going to allow me to connect with others, for me, it has to be a personal name. The name that I'm choosing has to be personal. And the more of yourself you can put into something, the easier it is to connect with the people you're trying to connect with.
Okay.
So from there, I knew that I couldn't revert the changes back to the first name to where it was before, but I knew that it needed to move away from basically nonsense because Exo Fury is it doesn't mean anything. And
we tried to tell you that, by the way.
Well, no, so like that was kind of the thing, right? Just as a side point, when I made Exo Fury, it was kind of like a week or two before. I didn't really give much time to it. There was other issues where some of it was serendipitous. And I was happy to have that, but
yeah,
like what I wanted to do is I wanted to move to something that was more meaningful to me. So back in, I think as early as June of last year, I remember like just flat out seeing the faults with the name that I had. and I felt that I wasn't able to convey the personal message that I wanted to convey. And it took
You're talking about with Exo Fury or with HK?
Yeah, with Exo. And it actually took me a while to realize that, because that just the fact that it didn't even mean anything. Cause like, I was like, oh, it means something. And it's like, oh, it's cool that it meant that, or it's cool that it meant that. But it took me a while to actually realize that, which I changed the name, I think in April, either May or April, or I think it was March. I tried as hard as I could, and I actually struggled to find a message inside of that I could convey outside of it, like inside the name. And I tried countless times in multiple different ways to just try to find a personal connection with it that I was just never able to find. It wasn't there. So at the end of around August was when I just came to the realization that I needed to change the name, but I knew I couldn't do it like, hey guys, this is where it was. I knew I changed the name, and I can't change it within like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it like super suddenly. I know Twitch gives you the option to do that, but I knew that would have been a wrong move to make.
6 months on Twitch.
I think it's
much shorter.
Months. Some of the one, I thought it was 2 months. I thought it said 60
days.
days.
Oh, 60 days. You're right. Yeah.
So when I was thinking of possible names, I thought of ways that I could. What is funny is because like I tried the same thing with HK, right? So I thought of ways that I could preserve the name into it. And I actually liked the Destiny reference to it. So I thought of some cool ways that I could integrate that. Like I came up with Exo 2, which is like because of the Exo's reset, right? CPR 2, like I think I came
What
up
is CPR? What's the significance there?
So
obviously you're not talking about cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
No,
right?
CPR 2, things like that. Like that.
Are you talking about cardiopulmonary resuscitation?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
No, but it does have personal significance to me that I'll get into. Like I told everybody, like I'll get into it later. But the name itself.
You give us this whole explanation, and then he says, "Well, I'll get into it later."
So my name has meaning too. It's my first fucking name. Come on, it doesn't need to have that much meaning.
No, hang on, no, because like
I bought my name on a website.
The explanation is important here. I think the explanation is important. But I came to the realization that if I was trying to just do that where I was taking parts of EXO or parts of HK or whatever, that was just, and I kind of made a similar realization that it was just unnatural. It just wasn't benefiting anybody. So I think going back to as early as late January, I knew what the name was going to be. But I deliberately chose not to change it because I wanted to make sure that it had it was a genuine, and it had genuine personal impact to me.
Okay.
And I didn't
have
to make up after the fact. So with Exo,
are you not going to tell us?
So with Exo Fury, I had to make up the story, right? So like I was like, oh yeah, well this is that, and it was kind of cool because it doesn't really mean anything. But with Exo Fury, like I said, there were some serendipitous things.
We lost him.
But none of them really had to do with me. So it was around, I think, it was there actually around then, like mid-January, that I just stopped using my old branding in the stream, and I just because I had felt totally disconnected with EXO at that point. I think back in August, like I was like not happy with it, and actually through that process of about 2 or 3 months, that I knew what it was gonna be. It allowed me to not only grow attached to it, but I was able to A/B test it to make sure that I was making the right move before I made it.
Yeah, that's smart.
All right. We gotta wrap this up, guys.
So I hope that explains the situation. And like I said,
It doesn't.
Anyway,
it
explains literally
guys,
nothing.
Wits, if you could just edit like the last 10 minutes out of the podcast.
No, I thought that was heartfelt. I do
It
want to
was
know.
heartfelt, but I didn't understand.
I do want to know what it means. So maybe next week
fair.
you'll tell us what it means.
Yeah. That's what we were trying to get at. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in for the 56th episode of GuardianCast. Tune in next week for your code of Metro Exodus. We'll see you then. Peace.
Later.
Happy GG in the Epic Store.
Yeah, happy GG.